Hi, my name is Matt Armstrong, and welcome to Business Development, a Skill at VA workshop brought to you by Germanna Community College in partnership with Fred Exchange. So what is business development? There's so much around business development that I think are misconceptions. Some might say business development is sales. Some might say, no, business development is partnerships. Some might say, no, that's not right. Business development is all about hustling and driving revenue. Well, I think there's some of that all wrapped into business development. But ultimately, I think business development is creating long-term value for an organization through customers, markets, and relationships. So when we say long-term value, what do I really mean? I mean cash. I mean customer relationships. I mean market expansion. I mean creating sustainability and a competitive advantage. And then we jump to customers. Well, moving through a customer discovery process, identifying the particular customer segment that you want to work, and maybe that's a test segment. And ultimately, maybe you're shooting for a much larger segment, but you're learning from this one, going after one. That's business development. When we talk about markets, we're trying to find the right product to market fit or service to market fit. And the last thing is relationships. I think business development, in many ways, the theme of it is really all about relationships, building relationships with customers, with stakeholders, with partners, with complementary organizations, creating strategic alliances, all to create that long-term value and drive the success of the business. Business development is not sales. I would say that on a sales marketing continuum, that business development is really more towards the marketing side. Because when you're talking about sales, you're talking about, if it's direct sales, one salesperson to one customer. And the cost of sales can be pretty high. When we're talking about business development, we're talking about one business person or one organization to one partner that creates access to hundreds, if not thousands, of customers. So really the idea is decreasing the cost of sales and increasing the upside by doing business development and creating those partnerships and relationships that are going to give you greater access to creating that long-term value for the organization, whether that's increasing your customer base, whether that's increasing revenue, whether that's creating new revenue streams, or really driving a profit center that wasn't there before. That is all business development. So when we're talking about partnerships, what do we mean? Is that like, I'm gonna go find someone on the street corner and ask them to be my partner? It's not really the essence of what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about really aligning maybe similar organizations or complementary organizations with similar goals. And so examples of that would be Google and Apple, or Facebook and Zigna, Yahoo and Google, or Apple and Intel. When you look at these examples on a much higher level from the type of organization, these organizations partnered and created much more value for their organizations through partnership than they could have done alone. Bringing this down to a much smaller level, let's talk about an entrepreneur that is trying to drive the results of his or her MVP. A critical partnership might be with a technology solutions partner. If you're a non-technical founder and you're looking for access to really a technology-focused segment, then that partnership may create a greater capability for you to get out there and actually achieve that goal. Without kicking sales to the curb, because that's not at all what I'm talking about, because sales is certainly a part of driving the performance of a business. And sales and business development are very complementary. Really, to identify some just sales tactics that I think will help you in your particular business. Number one is don't go in cold. Referrals are key. Have a warm lead and prepare for the potential meeting. The second thing is, once you're in the meeting, just listen. Be perceptive. Help the prospect feel like you are very interested and engaged in their problem set or what it is they're trying to achieve. Tell stories and use imagery to really showcase what product or service or problem that you're trying to solve. always, always, always follow up. Be very proactive in communication and set commitments and expectations that you can definitely satisfy. Be persistent. Don't fear rejection, even though rejection is extremely fearful, but know that that's part of the process and that ultimately you're trying to drill down from 100 prospects or 1,000 prospects to a win rate of maybe 5%, 10%, or 20%. And the last thing is bring an optimistic, enthusiastic excitement to the table all the way through. And really the sales process doesn't start from the initial point of contact. It starts once the contract is signed and once you begin to execute. The best form of sales is delivering on what you promised. So where does business development fit within the lean startup methodology? I think that business development, and one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about business development as a key business activity, is it incorporates the whole process. It is all about identifying a problem and then identifying customer segments and producing a clear value proposition that ultimately, hopefully, creates an unfair competitive advantage. And then you're looking at key metrics that will drive decision making and help you identify potential revenue streams and build a cost structure and ultimately, at the end of the day, drive performance of the business to create a healthy bottom line and create a sustainable competitive advantage.